guys, how's it going? I got some work to do tonight, so figured I'd pop on the old stream and let her rip. So, yeah. This is a very rare can stream for you guys. Oh, it's a rare can stream for me as well. Aww. What is this music? That's better, I guess. That's better. This definitely has some Stranger Things elements to it. We're gonna just pop this. Oh dear. Oh no! No, I'm good. Hello, how are you today? Thank you. Doing some inking tonight. I don't like that. I think actually these. How did I get into art? That's well, I got into art, um, actually because of manga. Um, One of the series I really enjoyed was Masamune Shiro's No Conflict, uh, Dominion Tank Police, and I was imitating the art of that. And then I discovered other artists and started following their work and kind of went from there. So I've been drawing for the better part of 2 decades. Whoop. I got into work such as Service the Artwork, which is Data Sim, and Gerhard. And I studied a lot of people's styles, not just manga, but also I was studying a lot of art from here in the United States, artists from Canada, that kind of thing. So don't think you have to just sit there and, you know, wave your flag of, oh, I'm only for this thing and that's the only thing I can study. Because what you'll find is if you take kind of a broader approach, you will come across artists you didn't even know existed. You will come across absolute scumbags for artists. And I'm not saying they are good nor bad nor anything else. But sometimes studying the scumbags helps you improve as well. Not too bad. It's been a week, and I'm getting through that week one day at a time, one step at a time. That's all anybody can ask you for. Oh, this particular drawing, I started it, I've been working on it for a couple of days now, trying to come up with the final revision for it, but actually inking it, oh, I started about 4 this afternoon. Thank you. This is of one of the gods of my world, Tack. Thank you. And get some rest. I will be in for the long haul, so if you ever decide to come back, I'll be here even later tonight. Not saying too much because I'm concentrating. Well, I will say that these flies, I hope, would die in a fire. I hate the late summer flies. They are the absolute worst. Hey guy, how's it going? The tables are reversed today. Normally it's me lurking out in the chat world. I feel so afraid, hold me. Well, you better get cracking. That's a lot of pages. Yeah, you can have your Kraken read to you and have them hold a page in each arm. Get through it faster. Hey Ray, how's it going? No, no. I am here tonight. Yeah, Guy feels you on that one. He is buried in work as well, and he's just in Chatland today. Like this one. Or like that. Make it just a little thinner. Yeah, he's on homework patrol right now. That doesn't mean he won't strike at some point randomly. We just know he's out there, lurking, waiting. Sharpening his reading skills. Well, I hope it ends amicably. Are you wanting for it to end? Now, to be fair, Guy, no one expects that. I mean, you're walking through the bushes and suddenly you're having your leg gnawed on by a rabid anthropologist. Yeah, there is most favored of bones. Well, that's not good. Well, if you need to duck out of here, I am going to be on for quite a while, so don't worry about missing the stream, Ray. Music is like frantic. Oops, sorry there, baby girl. I'm sorry. See you, Ray. Are you taking the safer side? Is that? See you in a while, guy. I'll be here. That's a hell of a transition. It's the bugler. Excuse me. Hey, there's a car that's going right through my room. I can still hear him off in the distance. Okay. Oh no! Disrupted my signals, baby girls. Tag is gonna take me forever. Because just the detailing on Boone is gonna kill me. But he is so gonna be worth it when he's finished. Okay. I have to step this back off. Yeah, that'll work. Man, oh no, more of the Stranger Things theme. okay for now. Whew. Hey, Disputer. I'm drawing my god tack from my setting. So, tack is two different gods that got merged into one. So right now I am doing the shading on Boone, who is kind of a shadow demon kind of thing. How are you this evening? Heckin' good is good to hear. That guy was out in the duck pond earlier. He said he'd drop by a little later on. He had to read about 14 million pages. Okay. He's coming out really nice. So what are you up to this evening, this snooter? There you go. Yeah, Alien vs. Predator, that game had some really great moments to it. I loved the multiplayer to it back in the day. I think probably the one I'm thinking of is... Well, are you talking about the NES days or the modern computer days? I don't think it was the 2016 one. That definitely was an Alien vs. Predator vs. Colonial Marine. That one sucked. Yeah, if I had to go with one, I'd probably go with the first one. I probably just horribly dated myself too. No, this was like a first-person shooter. As an alien, you could actually climb up the walls so you could get a different perspective on things. Yeah, I think this is like, yeah. Yeah, this is, I'm liking this. doing this. I think something like that. Whew. I need to come up with a cloak design. Now, get back to. Hello?
I am joining you. I are joining you, Lotsley.
Oh no! How are you this evening?
Better now. I mean, I've read all the readings that needed to be read for tomorrow. I was making snarky jokes, but I had 54, 64, 70 pages to read tonight.
Woof!
So even though I'm making snarky jokes, there really was a lot to read. The thing is that all of the stuff that I'm reading are all case studies, and they're all fascinating. So it actually doesn't hurt. It's just having to knock out enough of a time block to read it. It's not bad. It doesn't,
Yeah.
It's not like it was, one of them was a fascinating case study about a tribe in Peru. I'm sorry, Chile. No, Peru. And the anthropologist went in, and the tribe was being super exploited. Like they were effectively. I did change my hair. It's blue. Hi, Snooter. But tribe was being exploited, obviously. So the anthropologist went in, did their ethnography, did the work, and then after the work was done, they were like, "What if we just bought the tribe?" So they bought the tribe out from underneath the people who were exploiting them, and then said, "Okay, we're scientists. We don't know how to run a tribe, so you guys are on your own." And it took them like a year to figure it out, but once they did, they like took over and then started like running their own tribe. They got like better potato crops and all this stuff, and it completely changed the way that they were operating. It was a fascinating thing. This is back in the 1950s. And so, the field anthropologists on site were just doing analysis, and then they ended up purchasing them, which I thought was funny. And of course, just turning them over to the people. Here you go. We purchased you. You guys now belong to you.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a cool story. Yeah. I mean, they stayed with them to make sure that they were okay, but they didn't influence. They let them go back to what they were, except that they were modernized. So, they didn't go back to, loincloths and spears or whatever. They had modernized up, but they still, and now they are relatively stable people. They're their own community and live up in the mountains all by themselves, operating every day and all kinds of stuff. But it was a fascinating ethnography. So like I said, it doesn't hurt any. but on the same token, it's still a big chunk of reading. Every week I've got these massive chunks of reading to do. And Wednesday nights.
And this was in Peru?
Yes, this is in Peru in the 1950s, 1960s. Yeah. During the first half of the 1900s, the way Peru kind of shifted was just, especially right after World War II, things were really weird there. Before the Shining Path took over and all of that stuff. Which, by the way, I didn't know that the Shining Path was an offshoot of Maoist belief systems, but they're Maoists, which does not surprise me. But the Shining Path is like a major problem in South America right now. Like, that's a big issue.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm learning all about this, and all of this stuff is fascinating to me. Like every last bit of this is fascinating. There was an optional reading, and I read it too. It was
Well,
funny
there
because
you go.
he was making fun of me. My professor was making fun of me because he's like, it's optional. You don't have to read it. And I'm like, I'm neurodivergent. I have to read it. Otherwise, I'll feel like we left something undone and I won't know what it was. And it'll drive me crazy. And I'm just going to read it so I know I did everything. And he just started laughing and he's like, you've been doing this your whole life? I'm like, yes. And he's like, wow. Because that's what I'm going in to study. That's what we want to work with, right? It's like, you know, how to make it so that the neurodivergents don't suffer as badly, and it's okay. But anyway, it's okay. So fascinating, all these readings. Luckily, tomorrow is my last day of school for the week, and then I get Friday off where I get to go deal with the tax people. It's aggravating. Because you know how we had to get the tax things for CAC?
Yeah.
Guess who has 2 thumbs and forgot to fill that paperwork out?
Ooh, fun.
So, this Friday, I get to go out there and try to convince them to not bill me $9,000. Because they've decided that I must have easily made like 20 grand. So, they want me to pay $9,000 in taxes. The problem is, I have an online account with the state, and these were gotten separately, so they don't connect to my online account. So when I go in to pay these, or at least fill out the paperwork, it says you don't need to fill out any paperwork. You haven't been operating in the state. And then they send me a bill in the mail saying, "Hi, you obviously have been operating in the state, but you didn't fill out a paperwork thing. So we're going to assume you made $1 billion. Please give us $9,000." And then last year, they actually yanked out $8,000 of our taxes. So, you know. So I've got to go find somebody and say, look, we've got to fix this because nobody's answering the phone. So nobody's calling me back. Nobody's answering the phone. Nobody's talking to me. Nobody's responding to my emails. So clearly, you know, but I also don't want you guys billing me and, you know, garnishing my wages since I'm struggling to survive. If we're really lucky, I might be able to get them to pay back the $8,000 that they screwed up last year. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I am clearly wound up.
I mean, as you can see, I've gotten some work done this evening.
You're kidding. You've only been doing working for 3 hours so far.
What do you think?
I like it. I've been watching it this entire evening. So I've been enjoying it. It's gruesome, which is cool. Yeah, so my OBS, up at the top of the screen up here, OBS, has a chat window feed that comes in from Quack. And so it was up earlier this evening because I was in my Japanese class, and I used this camera for Japanese class. And so it's still up on my upper monitor, and all of a sudden I started seeing activity on the chat window, and I was like, hey, I'll bet you the can's on.
You would bet right.
Right? Is Snooter saying that they're old? I don't think you're old, Snooter. However, in a few minutes, I'm going to have to go yell at my child.
Oh, but that trick never works.
I told my child to get in the shower 20 minutes ago, and she hasn't done it yet. So I'm going to go kill my child again, as is usual.
As is tradition.
Right? The tradition says, as was foretold by the whatever. So, I don't know if you've heard about the drama that's been going on, but Lipton has discontinued my tea, my powdered tea.
Oh, no!
Right? And I'm not sure how I'm going to survive without my powdered tea. So, I have ordered some other powdered teas, and we're going to experiment with these powdered teas. Oh, hey, this one says mix 1 to 2 servings of 1 gram per 8 ounces of beverage. All right. Because this is good. Because I've got these things that have measurings. So this is the coolest little cup thing I've ever come up with. It's got a button on it, and the button opens up a little reservoir, which allows for only exactly 1/2 of a gram of whatever's in here to be dispensed. It's for measuring exact sugars and stuff like that.
Okay, makes sense.
And so once I figure out what this ratio is, I can fill this with tea and then just go, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it takes. Whatever's the...
I declare a thumb war.
I don't know what the size of these are. Then, the other good news about this is I can take these containers with me full of tea and dispense tea from them while I'm out, because they've got the little thing prevents it from spilling. My mathematical experiment for the night.
I need to do this separate. This guy expand.
Oh, wow. These cups are like 24 ounces. All right. So, 2 clicks for each beat. So that's 6 clicks. A T. All right. I don't like the smell. That's good. That's a plus.
What I might do is heal this up just a touch.
This tea is remarkably finely powdered. Makes it very messy. In fact, this is harder than it looks. All right. This became messy enough that this cannot be done in my office. I'm going to have to go downstairs real quick. Be back.
And that was the last time I saw him alive.
Yeah.
And it was all me again. Oh my. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to become artists.
right. After an insane amount of mess, I have gotten back now with a moment of truth. I have a thingy full of tea now.
Yay, thingy full of tea.
And if I do my math right, it's 6 clickies. So, 2, 3. Why does it not do the clicky? All right. That's what they said. Only 6. So let's see what 6 clickies of tea makes. And if I need to do more than 6. First of all, did you even make the water? See, that looks like slightly brown water. I don't think it's 6 clickies. Hey, Itty Cheeks. We are working on tea experimentation.
Oh, well, he is.
Well,
I'm drawing.
like you're supposed to on this show. Instead, I'm doing tea experimentation. Naturally. All right, let's see. Ooh. Actually, the taste is not bad. It's just that it's clumped. Woo! Alright. So it is it's a tea called Tiki. So TEA and then KI. And whew, that's a little strong. They had said when I ordered when on the back of it said make sure you stir it if it's cold. And so I have 2 different tea things going on here. So what has happened is this. I normally drink Lipton's powdered iced tea, unsweet. I learned how to drink unsweet tea when I was in my late 20s because I was trying to at that time I was drinking a steady diet of Pepsi and Coke. And so I didn't want to get involved in, I really didn't want to. Diabetes runs in my family, and I didn't want to mess with that. And that seemed like a bad thing. And, you get the idea. So I taught myself to like just pure iced tea. Or just black tea. And so that is what we have. So this is, I'm sorry, Tiki Hut. So TEAKI Hut. And so, anyway, I've trained myself to drink just iced tea with nothing in it. Well, it turns out that Lipton has decided over in July this year, Lipton decided to discontinue their powdered black unsweet iced tea. So now I'm on the hunt for a new iced tea. And that's what I'm doing right now, is trying to find a new iced tea. So.
You mind if it's in a tea bag or not?
Well, that's the problem, is that the convenience of the powder was what was really useful. So, you know, I would be running out the door or whatever. I'd grab a cup, fill it with ice and water, and then throw a spoon of tea powder into it and walk out the door. If it requires a tea bag, now you've got to do all this. Even the cold brew requires you to sit there and steep it for a second. You know what I mean? Like, or else, as you're driving down the road, find some way to throw the cold brew tea bag somewhere, you know? So it's not the same. And I'm willing to go there if I have to. You know what I mean? Like, I've got another coffee maker that doesn't brew coffee, and it's designed for brewing tea. That's all it does, is brew tea. But that requires planning, and I'm neurodivergent. Planning is not exactly one of my best skills. And what I'm really worried about is I'm worried that it'll just become easier for me to just go get a 12-pack of Cokes. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm really worried about, is I'll slip back. Oh no, it's just an old coffee maker. In fact, I prefer to get coffee makers that just do the old, you know, not much more technology than 1953. Because then I can put a smart switch on it with my Alexa. Leave it on all the time, and then have Alexa turn it on and turn it off whenever it needs to be turned on. Because that's how my main coffee maker works. Because that's the one thing, is I don't like hot drinks. So I don't drink my tea hot, I drink my tea cold, and I drink my coffee cold, iced as well. And it's the same thing. I don't drink anything in my coffee, just coffee. So what I do in the morning is I set up my coffee maker the night before, and Alexa at 6 a.m. turns on the coffee maker for 15 minutes and then turns it off. And that way it brews the coffee, and then it starts to cool down. And then by the time I get up and start moving around, I can just throw ice in it and pour it over the ice. And that works perfectly. But I think what I need to do is just stir this guy a little bit more, that's all. Because there's clumps in there, the floating clumps. See how that goes. The powder. The thing about this is that the powder is very fine. So it's clumpy. So I don't know, that one. So I bought 2 different brands. I put one brand in here, in the blue little guy. Yeah, it's actually really weak right now. So I'm not as impressed with this guy. That's all right. I've got another brand too. I bought 2 different brands, and I'll try them out, and let's see what happens. So I'm using a Starbucks cup, which is 24 ounces of water with ice in it. That's what you're hearing rattling. Because I'm stirring it that way, but I think that it may have. We'll have to. Yeah, I think you're right. I think what we're gonna have to do, Cheats, is that I'm gonna have to go the other direction with this. Pour the water on top of the powder. Mix the water and the powder together, and then put ice in instead of go the other direction. So, which is fine. I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. It's all experimentation at the moment. That's okay. That's okay.
I am the artist. The references you see are of a lifetime. I see past and future free. There is a world where if you get lost, that's not a world I know. Oh no, he is very much not done.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm still working on it. In fact, I was reading all night tonight. A whole bunch of case studies. Fascinating case studies, though. But it's been going along just fine. We've been chugging along. It's been good. Yep, anthropology case studies. So the field that I'm going into is cultural, which are the people who go study other cultures. So we go out into the field and study, people. But it's funny because at first, when I thought I was joining cultural anthropology, my thought was that you go out to the Umbabwababa tribe or something out in the middle of nowheresville. And what I have learned is there are cultures everywhere. Like you could call the convention circuits cultures. All of us artists that draw at tables are a culture. So all of that is stuff that anthropologists would study. So that's kind of cool. It's made for a very different view of what culture is, So it is cool. I mean, like technically speaking, all of you guys in the duck pond are a culture. I could do ethnography on you guys. See, now that everything's starting to dissolve in there, the tea is actually kind of better. Starting to kind of get its taste now. I think I just need to do it in a different order, which is fine. It's still quick. It can still be done in under like a couple of minutes.
I'm actually really liking how this is coming out.
Yeah, I love that piece. I am noticing that on the online communities, there was a couple of online pages that I joined, and they were Star Trek communities, and they kept just posting pictures of cosplayers in uniform, and between me and another person on the page, we were trying to get them to please identify the cosplayer instead of just saying cosplayer, you know. I'm like, please identify these cosplayers. Some of them work really hard. And now I'm noticing that the page is showing their names. And I'm like, there we go. These cosplayers work really, really hard in their stuff.
And they deserve to be recognized.
Yeah.
And it's no different than recognizing an artist for their work.
Right? Well, that's one of my big pet peeves, is like, these guys are really hard at stuff. I know a number of these cosplayers too, in our field especially. You know, when we're at, yeah, see, there we go, cosplayer Alicia Marie. But when we're at like the con and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I hang with some of those people because I loves them. Because they're my buddies now. That's the only problem, is Trekkies will always hang together. Just saying.
You know, I was thinking about inkers. And one of the things that I have been thinking about is how can a person in the early days of comic books, the Dave Sims, all that, were going through and inking their book traditionally. How come they aren't blowing out their wrists? But you look at modern, like, tablet anchors, and they're blowing out their wrists by the age of 30.
And I think a lot of it did. And I think part of it is that they had teams. So with the advent of the tablet, you don't really need to have someone else go over your work. So it's just you. Whereas
yeah,
before,
but there was a lot of independents that didn't have teams.
Yeah, and then they blew out their wrists. So, I mean, like, because I know that my dad was getting carpal tunnel, and that was part of and he was just a draftsman. Hey, Jen, good to see you. But I mean,
Hey, Jen.
Draftsman, and he was having problems with carpal tunnel in the early 80s. And he'd been a draftsman in the 60s and the 70s, you know? So really only for about 15 or 20 years, not even that long, and he already was having problems with his wrists. I also think that the angle that they were at was different. Like, my dad's work desk was at a different angle than my tablet is.
Well, and then also, like, I swing the drawing around a lot.
Yeah.
Now, we are doing our different things tonight.
Yep.
Okay, how does that look?
I did. I totally did. It's all blue. Look how blue it is. Blue.
Everyone is taking notice.
I loves blue hair. I actually apparently have a thing for the color blue because even this cup is blue.
Well, and then you have that the velvet blue cloth that is like the perfect shade of blue.
It really is. My perfect blue. Okay, go buy food.
Wow, I really like that. Alright, I think I finished up my drawing for the evening.
Look at you. And look at that drawing. A lovely drawing. I love that piece. I think we should wait until Jan comes back before we kill
Yeah.
them. I'd feel bad if they went to go get food and then came back to a dead screen. It'd be horrible.
Yeah, we'll wait for them.
Yeah, that seems like a thing. Oh, I see. They were making little blue. I don't know what that icon is. But they were referring to my blue hair, I think. It's hard to tell what that icon means.
Yeah, I can't tell. Yeah, I like going from this and taking elements of that and doing that with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, earlier tonight when I started on the hand, I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Yep. Right? That hand is gorgeous.
This is where I murdered myself.
And the thumb's in the right place. Yay! The number one thing we screw up every time. Stupid thumbs.
Well, and with Boone, which is this side,
Mm-hmm.
he actually, his hand is more of a dew claw. Because
Mm-hmm.
the thumb isn't on one particular side or the other, it's actually in the middle. Yeah, actually, yeah. So the entire creature is called Tack. That is their name. But I actually do know the two entities that make up Tack. And that's Boone, which is this side, the shadow side. And then you have Kyra, the Enlightened, which is the other side. I have way too much lore. Oh, I need to do something. Otherwise, I get chastised for it. And rightly so.
I do like that piece. Yeah.
At some point, I need to get myself checked out to see if I fall on the spectrum or not.
Maybe. But I mean, there's a lot of other things out there too.
Yeah, but I'm noticing
Similar patterns to what I do?
well, not only similar patterns, but similar patterns to what a few of my friends who are fully diagnosed as autistic do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering if I'm a high functioner.
Maybe. Snooter, I'm right now writing papers, so I'm really not interesting at all. And so usually we have 2 screens up, but tonight we're not going to, because you don't need to read my anthropology proposal. Well, I didn't even my analysis of the situation in Denver General Hospital in 1968 with Black underprivileged societies and cultures, which is what I'm working on. Agreed. The biggest problem we have with neurodivergence is that the autism spectrum is a very specific disorder. However, it has been diagnosed as about 12 different disorders, because what they didn't quite realize was it was all the same disorder, just whether you had it at 5, 7, or 37, dialed all the way up to 220, which was autistic people. Autistic people get completely dysfunctioning, and then you move down to functioning and you end up in the ADD range. ADD people can function. You can't tell that they're broken until you try to get them to do something, at which time things get really screwed up. But all of it is a social disorder, an auditory processing disorder, and an executive function disorder. And so it is all related. It's just different aspects. And so you end up having to do weird things to try to diagnose Usually what happens is this. I can tell people who are on the spectrum because they start doing little things that are clearly spectrumy. Like, I can't stand to eat that because it looks like sandpaper. And you're like, it doesn't look like sandpaper. How did you get there? It doesn't matter. Their brains decided it's sandpaper. And they won't be able to eat it because their brain will make them eat sandpaper in their brain. And that's obviously, that's a thing. Or synesthesia, where they smell colors or feel things. That's another sort of a running sign. Of course, any kind of executive function problem. And the problem is that the executive function doesn't go like the people on TV seem to think it does. Executive function says, and this is absolutely true, last night I tried to convince myself to go to bed without brushing my teeth for the 47,000th time in my life. Every night since I was a child, I have tried to convince myself I was too tired to brush my teeth. And every night I have to fight myself to go brush my teeth. Every night. It has never been easy. And that's an executive function failure. And it's a weird combination of stupid. I just had to go yell at my kid because my kid's also on the spectrum, and she won't take a shower unless I go down there and not just tell her to go take a shower, but go down there, tell her to take a shower, stand there until she closes her laptop. Because if I don't, she will say in her brain, I'm going to go take a shower. I want to go take a shower. And then I'll do it in 5 minutes. This is more interesting. This is more interesting. And then she fails. And then I find out she hasn't taken a shower in 5 days. That's an executive function failure. And it's these weird, doesn't make sense to the neurotypical people. Exactly. And it's the same kind of weird like that. My kid really only likes to eat macaroni and cheese. And only Annie's macaroni and cheese, not Kraft. Can't deal with Kraft macaroni and cheese. That tastes too different. And it's like the average person can't tell the difference between the two, or if they can, it is a very small difference. And whenever I say they only eat that, I mean, we've got many boxes of it because they will eat it all week long. And I've managed to get them to put peas and carrots in there, and sometimes chicken if I'm lucky. And if not, if I don't watch them, then I will just get them eating just mac and cheese. Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, that could have been but it's not that. I'm a 50-year-old man and I still have to convince myself to go over there and brush my teeth. That's the thing that you can tell is a problem. And so what we do to compensate neurodivergence is we have rituals. So we perform a ritual every night. And the ritual requires you to attach 12 things to it. Because once you start the ritual, it's easy to go, well, I'm already in this ritual, so I might as well keep going. And so that's part of it. And a lot of it is lying to yourself. If you just get up and brush your teeth, then like, that's brutal. Things like that. The other thing is, other clues that I can tell is they have a hard time holding eye contact. That's one that's very much across the entire spectrum. ADDers, though, have learned to mask because people don't trust you if you don't hold eye contact, and we know that. And so if we're not looking you straight in the eye, then you don't think that we're trustworthy, so we have to look you in the eye. And we do a thing called masking, which is the pretending like we're real people or correct people or appropriately acting people or something. But masking is definitely one of the things. I have a fellow in my class, my language class right now, behind me, and he is clearly high functioning autistic, but not masking at all. And him not masking, most of the other kids in the class, even though we're in college, most of the other kids in the class are uncomfortable with him, and he makes them uncomfortable. And you can clearly see that the kid does not know he's supposed to mask, and was never taught to mask, and because we're socially inept, we tend to not notice when people when they ostracize us. We don't get it. And so we don't get why we've been ostracized until 20 minutes after we've been ostracized. And then all we really know is that we were ostracized. And that's it. So typically speaking, it's one of those things. I can often spot people in my classrooms and stuff like that and know that they're on spectrum and know that they'll probably need special needs help and things like that. And I try to take them aside. And they're, yeah, and it depends. I mean, some people can make a habit of it. One of the weird problems with spectrum people is that they cannot form habits. So instead, they just have rituals. And they know that after they do A, they must do B. And after they do B, they must do C. For example, I have to take blood pressure meds because I'm 50 and slightly overweight. And so what I have to do every night is brush my teeth and put all the pills in a shot glass. Because otherwise, the next morning when I get up, I will forget that because I brush my teeth in the shower. And so because I don't have the pills in the shower with me, because otherwise they dissolve, obviously, I have to keep the pills outside. But I need to take them in the morning, but I brush my teeth in the shower so that I won't forget to brush my teeth. You see what I mean? Like, this becomes a problem if we're out of sequence. And what will happen is, if I screw any of these things up, I don't take my blood pressure meds or my Adderall, which is my ADD med. So we end up with me completely unmedicated for the day, and I'm just a complete basket case. It doesn't make any sense. So, and it's funny because I watch Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise, and it's wild to watch how well they show what unmedicated and unmasked neurodivergence looks like. Man, Adderall is just the only thing keep running during the day. I swear. I'm like sitting there going, well, without that Adderall, I'm a disaster. So, anyway, that's how you can typically, that's part of the problem, is that how do you quantify that? Not all neurodivergents express all these same problems. But there are some commonalities you can tell, but people have always attributed them to autistics or Asperger's syndrome, which was a thing for a while, or they attributed to ADD, and they had all of these as different things. And what they're discovering is it's all the same. It's just a matter of how well we compensated and how mildly or heavily that part of our brain that understands social structure was impacted. Oh yeah, that's probably not a, yeah. Well, we phased it out because really what Asperger's is just worse ADD, and autism is just worse Asperger's. So what's interesting is ADHD. Yeah, I got the ADD diagnosis too. Well, and that's funny because I used to make the joke that I had ADHD, but then I got old and now I just have ADD. because it was funny. But then somebody just recently said, yeah, except that you understand that the H is not about body, the H is about mind. And I went, oh, yeah. Because I don't think everybody else out there operates with air traffic control effectively going through their head all the time. But my head is constantly, there's a set of voices in my head constantly doing air traffic control stuff. I mean, like that kind of level of chatter all the time in my head. It's like having a police radio in my head. You know, there's just a constant level of, and it's not like schizophrenia, insanity, or anything like that. It's just my brain's got constant traffic inside there. And I thought that was normal. I thought everybody did that. Then I realized there are people who actually can get silence out of their brain. I can't even fathom that. I don't even know how that works. You know, I don't even know what that means. My brain doesn't shut up even when I go to sleep. I go to sleep with songs going on, and I'll wake up with the song in my head still going. I actually listen to music at night so that it'll wash the songs out. Otherwise, I'll just sing the same song over and over and over all night long, and I'll wake up with the same song still going on. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And that's sad, because a lot of us are operating off of trauma response now. You know, we were forced to be normal, and now people think we're normal, and we're not. We just have a bunch of traumas. Right? We just have a bunch of traumas. That's where we are. And anxiety and all these things. Earlier tonight, I was talking to Ken. There was something like 100. I was assigned 135 pages of reading this week. And my professor, who is neurotypical, and I were sitting down, and I was making a joke at him. I'm like, man, you keep assigning me 100 and something pages of reading every week. And he's like, guy, 30 of those pages are optional in both classes. You could take 60 of those pages out right away. And I'm like, oh yeah, but I can't not read them, because if I don't, something will be undone. It won't be complete, and then it'll drive me crazy. I'll stay up all night until I read them. I need to read them to complete it. And he looked at me, because he knows that that's my study topic area. I'm working on neurodivergence as my culture that I'm working on. And he was like, that's an interesting aspect. Why do you do that? And he had no idea. And so now he's making jokes in class about it. He's like, okay, here are your 3 readings. You only need to read 2, except Guy, who will read 3. And like, just like, it's now part of the flow. Guy will read 3. So it's like, which doesn't bother me. All of it's fascinating. I just need to block out enough time for it. But it's all fascinating reading, so I don't have a problem. That's a trauma response. So, that's Can being Cthulhu. Okay, Snooter, just as a side note, we are wrapping up soon, so if we're not here when you get back, no, we love you, man. We'll see you next time in the next show. If you are here, then we'll still say we love you, man. We'll see you next time in the next show, but just in case you know. And good on you making TV here. So that's part of this. Sorry, Kane. I totally ran the show there.
Huh?
Like, did I mention I'm not here? I'm just asleep.
No, you said a lot of really interesting things that my mom has to do in the morning because of her steps and things I have to do, because like I have found that this right here has become my savior.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You've done a couple of things that make me look at you side-eyed a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose you, but I've definitely given you the old side-eye there. Definitely do things that make me go, you know.
My Japanese instructor asked me why I have trouble picking up Japanese, and I had to explain to her how my mind is operating. I blew her out of the water.
Yep.
And here's the way my mind operates. Okay? Imagine, we'll do a sci-fi reference. You know Stargate, right? With the rotating wheel?
Yeah.
That's me when it comes to learning other languages. I am actually watching the wheel turn, and I'm waiting for the word that I want to lock in, or to go past so I can lock it in.
Yeah, that's about right.
Anyways, we should probably get going.
We really should. I was hoping Snooter would make it back, but I'm actually not really. I'm like sitting here running out of steam, and
I'm out of steam as well.
Hate to bow. Oh, you're back. No, good. Just because now we can say goodbye to this. I didn't want to leave you before you came back and did it. And I don't know if you heard me, kind of giving you the nod for being a good partner. All right. Well, I think I am ready to definitely bow out, and I think so are you. And you did an excellent job tonight. You did good work. And I was, of course, I was a good cultural anthropologist. Anyway, all right, my friends. I think we're all out for the night. I'm prepping to run the end credits. So, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all later. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Good night.
Bye.